Welcome to Unshackled. My name is Jo Draper. I'm a freedom and transformation coach, yogi, traveler, and ocean lover. If you're looking for soul-connected conversation, ready to raise your vibration and awaken to your fullest potential and purpose in life, then you have found your place. I will share tools, strategies, and inspiration on how you can build soaring confidence and create a life and a business that you are wildly in love with. Get ready to unshackle the chains that have been holding you back. Hello, soul family. So good to have you here with me again. I have landed back in Thailand. Last time I brought a podcast to you, I was delivering it from Sri Lanka. I've come back to Thailand. I have been here for just on a week now. And guys, I am so happy to be back here. I am loving life. Every cell of my being is feeling lit up and inspired and free and just thrilled to be here. The minute I stepped off the plane, I had, it was about 3 hours to get through customs with all the COVID testing and all the other things, you know how it goes. And even standing in this queue that I'd been standing in for hours, I just felt so happy and excited, and things had started to open up a little bit, which was really nice to see, and people were out traveling again, and it's just such an amazing feeling. And part of me was feeling a little bit concerned about coming back because I thought it's not going to be the same beloved Thailand that I knew as I was here through the whole pandemic, and it was very quiet. But there's this other side where it started to open up, and there's life back in there, and there's people visiting, and businesses are reopening, and it's just such a great place to be. And it's so interesting because I was actually heading to Bali. I was sorting out a visa. That was the next stop. And last minute, I decided to book the flight to Thailand. And I got here and I was like, yes, this is why this feels like home. This is exactly where I need to be. Today, we are talking about self-responsibility. And my intention behind the podcast today is I want to get you thinking. I want to get you thinking about where in my life am I taking ownership and full self-responsibility? And where in my life am I seeking for somebody else to heal me, to fix me, to make me well, to make me feel loved, to make me feel secured, to take responsibility or ownership of my health and well-being? And with everything, this always comes back to us. It's taking full ownership for our own health. We live in a culture where we have a problem, we have a rash, we have a niggle, we have a upset stomach or headache, and we want an instant fix. We want to go to the doctor and receive some pharmaceutical that'll fix us, that'll make the pain go away. And often what we're doing is we're just band-aiding something. For those of you that are not Australian and don't know what a band-aid is, it's a plaster. And what we're doing is we're just band-aiding what's really going on. We're not dealing with the issue. Why is this happening? Is it something gut health related? Is it something to do with my emotional stress? For those of you that have been following me for a little while will know that I went through a cancer journey about 4 years, almost 5 years ago now. And a huge part of that journey was making decisions and taking full ownership of everything. And before I received this diagnosis, I feel so blessed because I'd watched a lot of documentaries. I had a good understanding of natural therapies and different approaches. So when I got delivered this news of this really aggressive cancer diagnosis, for me, I knew there were other options, just being pushed down a path that didn't necessarily align for me. And what often happens to people in these situations is there is so much fear, there is so much stress. You go into this frazzled daydream of what is even happening. I don't know which way's up. I will just do what everybody tells me to do because I don't know anything different. So when I received my diagnosis, I listened to the surgeons, I listened to the oncologist, I took in all of the information, and then I also did masses of my own research. I talked to a raw food healer, a nature cures healer. I talked to naturopaths. I talked to alternative cancer centers all over the world, in Australia, Sri Lanka, Germany, Mexico. I gathered as much information as I could. I got so many different opinions, and I took all of that information and I made a decision that was the best decision for me. And I want to say here that I believe, this is my belief, that nobody should be pushed down a path that they don't want to go down. And if somebody comes to me and they say, I want to take chemotherapy, then that is completely their right and their path. But I would want them to do it in an informed way. I would want them to do it in a way where they felt empowered and they felt it was their choice, and they felt like they didn't get pushed down a path that wasn't in the highest alignment for them. And I know, looking back at my whole journey, I made every single decision. I felt into my decisions. I felt what was right. I got information from so many different sources, and I trusted that I would make the right decisions. And I did. Going from a diagnosis of I probably won't be here in 5 years' time to being months away from reaching that 5-year date and being perfectly healthy with no cancer in my body. And a big part of this is knowing, feeling into it, and knowing that I made the best decisions for me, not for somebody else, not what my family wanted, not what my friends thought, not what my surgeon thought, not what any of my coaches thought, what I thought. I took full self-responsibility and ownership. And even if I didn't get the outcome that I was hoping for, I would look back at this knowing that I did everything that I wanted to do, that I wasn't forced or pushed down a path that wasn't in the best intention for me personally. So I want to ask you, have you ever met one of these people that complain about everything, right? This doesn't work. I don't like my job. I don't like my partner. I'm not happy. And you may have come across one of these people and maybe offered suggestions, and every suggestion got shut down. Nope, that won't work. Nope, somebody else tried that. That won't work. Nope, nope, nope. And you leave just feeling, whoa, you're not helping yourself, right? Have a think about this. Connect to one of those people. I'm sure we've all crossed one of those people in our journey. And it's so frustrating. Like, you can look at that from the outside looking in and going, they are not doing anything to help themselves. And sometimes it's so easy to recognize this in other people. If they just did this, they would feel happy. If they just loved themselves, they would attract a better relationship. If they just knew how to manage their money, they would have more money. Of course, right? That's with everything everywhere. And it's very easy to stand back and see that from the outside in. But the real medicine is, can you see that within yourself? So often we're not willing to look there, or we just can't see those parts of ourselves. So look at, is there something in your life that you're wanting to change and haven't been able to change? And then what are the reasons? What are you telling yourself the reasons why this won't happen, why this can't happen, why it's easier for somebody else? And how willing are you to keep learning, to keep investigating, to keep pushing, to keep seeking different alternatives, to meet different people, to have different conversations? If you've been to your GP about something 5 times and you're not getting the answers, maybe it's time to look elsewhere. If you've been to your naturopath a bunch of times and you're not getting results, maybe it's time to look elsewhere. It's about fully educating yourself and taking ownership, taking full responsibility, educating yourself, not just relying on that doctor to give you a pill that will make the problem go away. Look at the deeper meaning. What is this connected to? What is really going on here? I know in my journey, when I was diagnosed, many people said to me, how is this possible? You're so healthy. You always exercise. You always eat well. And I could have taken that mindset and thought, this is not fair. I'm only 37 years old. I've got this really nasty cancer diagnosis. I eat healthy. I exercise all the time. This shouldn't happen. I look really healthy. That could have been it. Or I can look at deeper meanings. What else can I look at? How do I handle my stress? How do I process my emotions? How do I use my voice? How do I show vulnerability? How do I nurture myself? How do I relax? And when I look deeper, I never relax. A girl that I lived with for, I think, 1.5 years, we lived together, and she said to me, I did not see you sit down or relax for the entire time that we live together. And that is the pace that I lived at for such a long time. So I have to look at that. Whenever we're overdoing something, and I spoke about this a couple of episodes ago, overdoing anything is a sign that we're trying to mask our behavior. Overeating, over drinking, over watching porn, over gambling, overworking. So let's look at that. I did so much emotional release work. And guys, this is what I teach now. This is what I take my clients through. I turn my pain into my purpose. When I didn't know how to process emotion and feel things and show things and express myself, this is the work that I do now on a daily basis. And it makes me so happy when I see people start to use their voice and express themselves and release their own emotions and recognize their own emotions and start to take ownership for what is really going on. So there is the self-responsibility of basic things like keeping ourselves safe. For example, if you were going to get in the car and you know the driver had too much to drink, some people might feel unsafe, but they don't want to say anything. So they just sit there and they're putting themselves at risk because they don't want to voice their fears. So that's one element of protecting ourselves and our safety and those people around us. It's also being in a group and being able to voice if everybody else is, say they're making, a racist joke or a joke that doesn't align for you, and you kind of laugh along because you want to be part of the tribe, you don't want to voice your opinion. Even that is not taking self-responsibility because you're not being true to yourself. Taking a look at our own individual victim mentality, and I know this is something that most people don't want to go there, do not want to see this within themselves because it's hard. It's hard to see this about ourselves. And I want you to think back to that person we were just talking about, the person that's always complaining. And some people do this really outwardly and openly, and it's very obvious. Others, we might say it in our head, but we'd never say it out loud. So we might come out on the outside, we're all positive, but then on the inside, we're stuck in this victim mentality. And I would invite you to take self-responsibility and look, where am I stuck in victim mentality? Where do I tell myself that this is so hard for me, that this is unfair, that this shouldn't have happened, that this is easier for other people? Guys, I think we all do this. I catch myself doing this. We all do this, but it's the willingness to open it up, look at it, bring it to the table, bring it to the surface, and integrate it. Yeah, I know I do that. Okay, I'm aware that I'm doing that. How do I change that thought pattern? How do I bring in something positive? It's the law of displacement. Two things can't occupy the same place at the same time. So in with the new, out with the old. The more you stop and you recognize these thought patterns that do not serve you, the more you can bring in new empowering thought patterns. And this is where you start to see real transformation. The more you can be willing to see your victim mentality, and when you step into that, the more you can start to bringing awareness is the first step of change. Create the awareness. Okay, I can see where I'm doing that, and I choose to step out of it. I choose to think differently. Who do you surround yourself with? Are you surrounded by people that are negative? A lot of people will come to me and say, oh, my family can be quite negative. Okay, you don't choose your family, but you choose how much time you spend with them. So if it's really having an impact on you, then you need to take ownership for that and stop blaming your family and stop blaming external things. And okay, in an ideal world, maybe you would have a family that agrees with your values, agrees with what you believe in, has the same thought patterns, but that is not the case. So accept that you cannot control other people. You cannot change other people. So rather than complaining about it and getting dragged down into that negativity or that toxicity, remove yourself, spend less time, spend the time that you need to, and surround yourself with like-minded people that are on the same page, that are on the same path. Another way you can start to really take ownership is look at, where are you making investments? So if you're saying, I want a healthier body, I want to lose weight, And then you don't want to pay for a personal trainer or a gym membership or join a social club and play netball or something along those lines. But then you're investing your money into dinners on the weekend and going to the pub and having drinks. I mean, there's probably only one meal out in somewhere like Australia that you could buy a weekly membership. So look at where you're investing your money. People tell me that, I want to up level, but I don't want to invest in coaching. Okay, so where are you spending your money? Are you spending it on going out, or it's choices, it's decisions? So if you're wanting to shift something, are you willing to put the resources and time and energy into shifting that, into changing it, into working with a personal trainer or a nutritionist or a coach? Are you buying the books? Are you listening to the podcast? Are you using your time to watch Netflix every night? Or do you take some of that time and dedicate it to listening to podcasts, listening to inspiration, surrounding yourself with like-minded people? And where are you complaining? In what areas in your life do you catch yourself complaining? Are you complaining about your job? Are you complaining about where you live? Are you complaining about your partner? Are you complaining about being single? Are you complaining about I haven't met somebody and had a child yet? Are you complaining about the income and I don't have enough money? Again, self-responsibility. Take a good hard look at yourself. Where am I complaining? Okay, awesome. This is the area that I want to up level in my life. What can I do about it? What am I going to do to change it? Am I willing to invest? Am I willing to spend some time? Do you catch yourself saying, oh, I've tried everything. I've tried everything. You don't understand. I've tried everything. If you haven't shifted it, you haven't tried everything. I can tell you that now. And the same goes for me, guys. I haven't nailed every single thing in my life. There are still things I'm working on. It's a lifetime of growth and evolution. I'll always continue to work, and I catch myself. What are the things I want to upgrade and shift? Am I putting my time, energy into and resources into shifting this? Am I open enough to see the parts of myself that I don't want to see? Am I open to seeing the shadow, shining the light in the dark of the things that we keep hidden about ourselves because we don't like it about ourselves? We don't want to admit it about ourselves. Often when I get people to do a lot of this work and we do a lot of thought downloads and getting really familiar with our thoughts and what's going on in that space between our ears, and a lot of people don't like it, all of a sudden we become aware of our thoughts and whoa, you can just put the lid back down on that because I don't want to go there. And then we back away and then we tell ourselves, oh, this doesn't shift. Oh, this is just my destiny. This is just what I was made for. I've tried everything and it doesn't work, so I'm just going to stay like this. That's not taking full self-responsibility. I believe I like to stay in hope that what I haven't shifted yet, I just haven't found the right thing. I haven't had the right mindset shift. I haven't found the right coach yet. I haven't found the right healer, but they're out there. Maybe there's still some emotional release work that needs to be done. Maybe I can learn something about how emotional thoughts manifest in the physical body. I'm going to do a whole nother podcast on this, guys. So team, take this away. Do the homework. Look at where am I wanting to up level in my life? What am I wanting to shift? What am I wanting to change? What am I wanting to bring in? And then look at where am I complaining? Where am I investing my time, energy, and resources? And does that need to be directed into something else? Where am I in victim mentality? Bring it to the light. Bring it to the table. Okay, I can see I start to feel sorry for myself. And sometimes we just step into that downward spiral of something happens and the next thing we're thinking about, poor me and my boyfriend that broke my heart 20 years ago. This is just what the mind does. But this is where we get to catch it and we get to change it, bringing awareness to this and then changing it. So guys, that is it for another episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to share with you my coaching container that I have just opened. It's called Soul School. I am calling in 10 ambitious women that are ready to shift the needle, that are ready to up level in their life. This is a group coaching container. There is only limited people. This is very high level coaching at a very affordable rate. So if you're wanting to shift something in your life, if you want to call in something different, if you're wanting to up level in any areas, this is the perfect container for you. It's an amazing group of women. It's connection. It's community. We're here to support each other. I am here to coach you. You will receive private coaching, group coaching. There's going to be workshops, and you can be in a totally different place in the next 90 days. So if you would love to jump in, drop me a message on Instagram, iam.joedraper. Send me an email, hello@joedraper.com. And if not, just share the love, share this episode. If you know any friends that could benefit from this, please send it on. If you have family that could benefit, send it on. Share it on your socials, tag me in it so I can share the love for you as well. Email it to some friends, text it to some friends, whatever works, whoever could benefit from this, please share. Take care, team, and I will see you on the next episode.